First, let's take a look at the backswing. Whether your backspin ball is directed here or directed here. After his incoming ball, his backswing action for the backspin ball must have a relaxed wrist, along with the upper arm and forearm during the backswing. When he is in the backswing, his wrist must make slight adjustments. We first need to identify the issue. When hitting a topspin, a fixed wrist cannot generate arc and spin. That's because the wrist is crucial for creating spin. Whether it's a forehand or backhand, the wrist needs to make slight adjustments at the moment of contact. Everyone take a look. From this angle, you can see the wrist is rotating. This is the first point. The second point is, when the fingers and wrist make contact with the ball, during the spinning process, when the fingers and wrist strike the ball, it must create friction. Look. When hitting the ball, please pay close attention to my racket head. Which direction are we going? Downward, isn't it? Pull the ball. When the ball goes out, my racket head turns. Pay close attention. This is actually a process of external rotation and internal rotation, using a finger grip. So, in this process, our wrist must maintain its flexibility. Because of the first contact point, the impact point, after we position our finger and wrist, this so-called action through our movement creates spin through our friction. So first, you must keep your wrist relaxed and adjusted. Second, you must allow your wrist to move. When to move, relax. I refer to it as movement. It's all about that moment of contact. Everyone take a look. We make contact with the ball. The wrist is fully relaxed. At the moment of impact, the wrist must suddenly rotate. At the same time, the fingers need to exert force quickly to grip the ball. Whether using a shakehand or penhold grip, at the moment of contact, the fingers and wrist provide the motion. You see, the racket is naturally relaxed. Then I hit the ball. Let's see, move, move. It's just that we are at the point of contact between the ball and racket. This is the second point. The first is that it must be relaxed. Your wrist should be lower than your forearm, and your forearm should be lower than your upper arm. The reason the wrist needs to be lower than the forearm when hitting the ball is that it can rotate better only when it is lower than the forearm. To maintain flexibility, I am now demonstrating a breakdown of finger and wrist movements. The moment I hit the ball, my wrist must move. Look at the racket head. When we hit the ball, it is directed downward. That is impossible. Take a look at the stroke. When it makes contact with the ball, lift it up. Then retract your forearm and execute the shot. Swing it between your eyebrows. Third, let's discuss. Has everyone heard? The forehand pull goes both outward and inward. What does outward mean? From the back view, it looks like this. When you hit the ball with your racket, the racket face should be positioned like this. External rotation means the wrist needs to open up. If the wrist is bent like this, it isn't considered external rotation. Regardless of whether it's a straight or cross grip, pay close attention to the position of the racket face during the rotation. What is external rotation? An open racket head is called external rotation. And you will be able to see the difference in quality. The first is a normal ball. The second is the outward stroke. Clearly, when the wrist opens outward and rotates inward, what happens with the outward stroke? The outward extension and inward retraction will have a very positive effect. This leads to strong explosiveness. This outward extension means that many people are pulling the ball. The upper arm and elbow must not be separated. It should be pulled like this. Isn't it true that many people pull the ball this way? Look. The upper arm and forearm are not separated. So your stroke is always just passing the ball, which lacks quality. In this way, the player's wrist hasn't moved at all. So naturally, there won't be any quality during the ball pull. At the moment of contact, my upper arm, forearm, wrist, and fingers must be fully extended. It is broken down. It is not a coordinated movement. It is the breakdown of motion. So what does unfolding mean and how does it work? It is when we receive the ball. The upper arm, forearm, and wrist are in different positions. In fact, one is farther than the other. In this case, we can create a whipping effect. When I swing, the angle of the racket face and the ball at the moment of contact, what effect will it have? Improve your explosiveness. Let's try another one. This type of ball doesn't set out the stroke, so you can't generate any power with the balls. Many players miss the net because they pull like this. The hand hasn't dropped, so you naturally can't generate power, really? Look, this is how you can generate power. While we're demonstrating this for everyone, when making contact with the ball, I definitely use finger and wrist movements. However, this finger and wrist movement, at the moment of contact, let me describe the feeling in my hand. First of all 5 fingers must apply force. Does everyone feel that they should be using their fingers? Do you feel a grip? Without a proper grip, you can't achieve good control. There's a crucial difference. This is the first point, the way you hold the forehand paddle. Due to the grip formed by your 3 fingers, the strength comes from your entire hand. This is a structural issue with your grip. You need to ensure your fingers are strong and the back of your hand is strong, because when you make contact with the ball, the transmission through these fingers is crucial. It's at the moment of contact. Let me demonstrate in slow motion. Relax, 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 make contact with the ball. Relax, 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 make contact with the ball. It's all about the thumb and index finger. Many of our table tennis friends feel the moment of ball contact. Do you feel the pressure from your thumb and index finger? Look at the position of my thumb. It's not just resting here. It should be pressing down on the racket. The index finger can have both small and large forehand grips. Personally, I find the forehand stroke to be more stable. I prefer a slightly larger forehand grip. I grip the racket too tightly, which makes it easy for me to lose control. So when my index finger and thumb make contact with the ball, I personally feel that these fingers should be relaxed. Relaxed, relaxed, while holding the racket, and at the moment of contact, there should be a feeling of accelerating the grip. But accelerating doesn't mean I'm just squeezing the racket tightly to accelerate, or to grip it. Instead, I complete my action in accordance with the direction of its retraction.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.